I have one. It's not funny, but it's something. I mean, why break from tradition, eh?
It's not funny, just like every other time.
It's not funny. It's just words that I put together. So. Hello and welcome to Incomplete Geeks, a gay geek podcast where we talk about lots of geeky things. Sometimes we know a lot about it, but other times our knowledge is a little bit
incomplete.
That's my co-host John. You're the path ahead, Jonathan. And I'm Nick. I loved being a bitch. Do you get the reference?
No, say it again. I'm the path for the head.
You're the path ahead, Jonathan.
Oh, the path ahead. And
I'm Nick. I loved being a bitch.
Yeah. It's nice to hear, but I don't.
Do you not get the reference?
No.
You've not been watching the edits. That's what Lillia says. You're the path ahead, Jennifer.
Right.
I loved being a witch.
Yes. I got that part. Okay, now I got it.
Hopefully someone got it. That's.
They all did.
Minutes of hard work. Yeah.
The dumb person of me. So, hi Nick.
Hi John.
How are you? Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
All the listeners.
Thank you.
It's been a spell, hasn't it? See what I did there.
See, and that's the one. That's the one we rehearsed.
You still laughed at it though.
I know. I'm very tired. I was out until I was out until 10 o'clock last night with.
Oh my gosh, that's so
with
late.
The kids drinking alcohol.
Children.
I know, and singing karaoke songs, and hence my grumbled voice.
Your deep and sultry voice.
Yeah.
You're taking a page out of my book then, aren't you, Nicholas? Just gotta sound like you're from the... I don't know why I'm suddenly Southern.
Why are you Southern?
I don't know. This is all the deep and grumbly.
What a great start to this. Let's talk about Agatha All Along. It's all finished. It's done.
It's done. It finished, and we're going to talk about it. And This isn't a Marvel podcast, and it just so happens that we have back-to-back Agatha episodes. That's okay, because the show was amazing, I think. What did you think of it? Should we go... How should we do this? We do part by part, episode by episode, character by character. Like, it finished yesterday. Oh, by the way, spoilers for the entire show. But if you've clicked on this episode, you know it was coming.
It finished and Agatha died. Spoilers.
You're supposed to say spoilers before.
Oh, spoilers. Agatha dies.
I did get a little spoiled because I spoiled. Just somebody had a clip on Friday. No, on what day was Halloween? Thursday. Today.
Yesterday.
Thursday morning, someone's showing a clip of Jennifer Kale climbing out of the ground, and I was like, dude, it's been less than a day.
You need a full 24 hours is the rule.
At least.
So from today is when you can start posting. Yeah. That's fine, I think.
So today fine. People are ooh, wasn't this great? Or ooh, look at this sort of behind the scenes photograph of a scene that you would have been spoiled if you'd known it beforehand. That's arguably fine. I still think it should be 3 days because some people have lives, you know.
I know, but also if you're not watching it within 24 hours, you're not super fussed. But I agree. But it is nice to see people posting about it. I think I haven't seen much about the finale. The biggest reaction I saw online was after the previous episode, after Lillia's episode.
The penultimate. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that was the best one.
Which is by far the best one, and I really, really want them to use that to put forward for Emmy nominations and get her an Emmy for it. Because WandaVision, they all got nominated for Emmys and lost out to Kate Winslet. No, I mean like the show did, and Elizabeth Olsen did. Paul did as well. I don't think Catherine was, but it's absolutely the highlight of the series was Lillia's episode, which I don't remember the name of it. Something but death is in your hand or something like that.
All the episode names are sort of it's cute, it's a trick, but I don't think I remember them all.
I don't remember any of them. Apart from the last one being Mother Maiden Crone. That's cute.
People are going to remember it as Lillia's episode, and I think it was the best one. So episode 7, as I know, because it was the one before the 2-part finale. Let's talk about that one first, because that was the highlight, as you said.
It was just incredible. Yes, go.
Can I tell you why I think it was great? because you can tell that the writers, the people who wrote that show, took such great care in pulling together all of these threads that they had to have placed in other episodes. And I don't just mean like her sort of going a bit sort of crazy and saying some weird random line. Like, that's important, but I also mean like every time that she sort of flashes back and has some sort of interaction. Like, I didn't realize that when Billy or Teen and Agatha go visit her the first time, and she has this sort of weird sort of reaction, this sort of breakdown in the kitchen, whatever. That's just her sort of flashing back to that point. She didn't say anything. It wasn't sort of like it wasn't meant to be sort of tied into anything. It was just another example of her, starting to lose control. And the way they wrote it, they had to sort of place information at certain points so that it's narrative for us, like we're discovering that information, but that it still makes sense to the character if you took her chronologically and took her through like falling through the pit and sort of talking to Jen in underground and then going into the chamber with where the trial is. It all makes sense, and it's done so well narratively, and you don't see that in TV a lot nowadays, especially if you compare it to things like awful, even Marvel TV shows, where it's just like you didn't think this through, you didn't think about what this means narratively, and still have it be true to the character. So like her whole thing, like, and she does it so. Also, you have Patti LuPone, who does it so well. She's talking about, this is what's happening to me. It's been happening a lot lately. I'm not sure I like where it's going to end. Like, you can tell that she's like scared of it. Sort of, she's not sure that she wants this. She's not sure that she's ready to face what is ahead. Basically, it's fully her episode. She does it so well, and it was just pulled up. It was pulled off.
It's such a perfect example or kind of a thing to shut people up when people are really dismissive of genre TV. When people are like, oh, it's just a stupid Marvel show, just like they could be, oh, it's a sci-fi show or a horror film or anything like that.
Sure.
So many people are dismissive of so many genres that aren't traditional, I don't know, drama or whatever like that.
What is traditional nowadays anyway? Like CSI?
Who knows?
Like, go home.
I don't know. But to take a storyline as, like, it's a comic book storyline. It's kooky, weirdy, witchy on this set, and we're flying around, this silly kind of thing, and still be able to write such a wonderful character arc, and for Patti to, it's so, just the little subtle looks in her eye when they had like the close up and she's like got mud on her face, just it's so genuinely wonderfully acted.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, it's a show about witches or some shit. It's like, bitch, these women, the writers, directors, and actors are all so phenomenal, and it just shows that it's just a medium, it's just a storyline, and it's still brilliant writing, brilliant acting, and shut the fuck up, naysayers. Give her an Emmy.
Naysayers, yeah. I think she deserves it if she does get it. She should at least get a nomination. But like, could you imagine? Like, there's not a lot of Emmy wins in Marvel TV from what I know.
Think, but the big ones, there's never been big award wins. We get some like costume and some stuff like that.
Yeah. It's nice just to be nominated.
But like, start taking it seriously. Like, people moan that these films are all that's in the cinema. It's like, well, if it's a really good, and if it's a good film and a good TV show, you guys have to start recognizing that.
I mean, can you imagine? Like, that was what kind of, go back to Angela Bassett getting a nomination, the first acting nomination for a Marvel film. People
should have won.
What? Wow.
She should have won. I'm really angry about that. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee. I was like, who got it? When you were mentioning like the acting, the show running, and all the writing and stuff, you could tell that they all worked together and they were all on the same page. So I think that is probably Jack Schaefer sort of saying, let's be on the same page. This is what we're doing. We'll take your bits. We'll make sure they're placed in other episodes, etc. A lot of bad TV shows, like, as much as we rag on them, like, people don't set out to make a bad TV show. It's just, or even, same with film. It's just like people don't communicate, or they're not on the same page, or things have to be cut, and it has an effect kind of thing.
Or like a studio comes in and says, no, we want more explosion. It's not a cohesive vision. And I guess because did Jack show run WandaVision, or she was just a writer on it? She didn't show run it, but she show ran. I
thought she ran both of them, but I could be wrong.
I knew she was a writer. She wrote WandaVision, and she wrote, directed, and showrun this.
Because Matt Shackman did something as well. Was he showrunner?
He was
WandaVision?
maybe he was involved. I don't remember.
I'll have a look. You keep
Polls,
talking.
you can Google. But yeah, I think it's a really good point because she had the script. Either she wrote it or she wrote it with people and organized everything. So there was, like you said, a very clear vision of what they were going to do. It also adds on to what we were saying about like the Spotlight shows in the past and how the pressure is off in that this wasn't really much of an attempt to interconnect, which has been Marvel's greatest strength and its greatest weakness in the last year or so. It was just telling a good story with brilliant actors, and it didn't. I know WandaVision.
The show as a whole, though, aren't you?
Yes,
now.
Exactly. Yeah, the whole thing. And just shows how different it can be. You know, look how we ragged on other shows and other projects that have come out since because there's this, like you said, lots of involvement or people not talking to each other and that sort of stuff. Yep. Whereas this was allowed to just be a wonderful show, a great story, great actors. And look how successful it was. It's brilliant. And another thing.
Let me before you start that,
please.
The Wikipedia doesn't say anybody was a showrunner, but she did create it. It was said it was created by Jack Schaefer, but Matt Shackman did a lot of the directing.
He was,
okay. And so I assume she did a lot of the writing as well.
She wrote it, I think so. Cool.
So there you go. And another thing.
I forgot what I was going to say. It was about moaning about people. How...
moan about people?
I know, that's shocking, right?
Unlike you.
People are... What a turn for this channel. Like, a lot of people were... kind of like, oh, like, you know, this episode with Lillia was so good. It's like getting the same sort of ratings as The Penguin. I'm like, well, why is it a given that another show, which is a comic book adaptation, but because it's a gangster, gritty, miserable thing, that's
male-centered.
Massively. It's accepted that it's taken seriously and that it would be good. And it may be. I haven't watched it. It's probably good. But people are like, oh, it's even as good as The Penguin. It's like
why
Jack
is that
Schaefer,
why is that the
Catherine
benchmark?
Hahn, Patti fucking LuPone. It's like, we knew it would be good. Like, what?
Yeah.
Reeks of sexism to me, but...
I hear you. I think that's probably the root of a lot of it. I don't think it should be the benchmark. I've not seen it. I heard it was good, but it's definitely on my list.
I don't know how to watch it over here. I don't know what it would be on because it's...
I think it's...
Oh, is it?
Sky, whatever the Sky app is, yeah.
Oh, I've got that. Why? Oh, it hasn't advertised. Okay. I might check it out, but it's probably gritty and serious. And
I think another reason it does so well is because the kind of... the giveaway at the end where the road was all sort of Billy's creation wasn't spoiled, wasn't sort of even hinted at. Like a lot of the sort of like Rio Vidal as Lady Death, whatever. Like that was
Rio was spoiled. Billy was spoiled. Billy was also.
we knew Billy was obvious.
That's fine.
But then the fact that he did it was like, oh wow, and it makes total sense because obviously it makes it so much more in the same genre as WandaVision because it's like, oh yeah, you created this thing, but we didn't know that, and it's because they pulled it off so well, and it makes complete sense.
Yeah,
that even he doesn't realize. So that's why it works thematically. But he's like, yeah, of course he would have made it because that's what he wanted. That's kind of he doesn't know the extent of his powers. Neither did we. We're still learning, and so it's kind of like it's almost like Billy's show as much as it is Agatha's.
Yeah.
Because it's his
kind
journey.
of in the same way that
so male centric, obviously.
He's okay. It's fine. WandaVision was Wanda's show, but it did set up Agatha to be this spin-off breakaway character that everybody loved, and she got her own show. And this way, Billy is going to be the spin-off character, but a little bit more planned because we kind of knew that because he's going to be in Young Avengers.
Yeah, I think that he's meant to be. I mean, it was a good way to introduce him in this sort of show, and so I hope people watch it. I hope people aren't going to be like, "Oh, well, I never saw the show, so I can't watch Young Avengers." But whatever. The same way they did with
Marvel's
Photon, Monica.
Yeah.
Okay,
Monica.
I'm just okay. Because
Monica
me,
Maria.
I get Monica Maria mixed up. So I think that he's meant to be in that direction, and I think if not to jump ahead and what I know we're going to talk about the future towards the end of this episode, but if they're going to have Vision be the focus of the third, if they're making this a trilogy, that makes sense, and I'm sure he'll appear in it. I'm sure it's going to be about finding Tommy, etc. And the focus of that will be White Vision, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And what was my point? I don't know.
Who knows?
They have these characters, they set up, and they're sort of sent off. And I hope people watch it. I hope people don't say, "Oh, I can't watch it because I never saw Agatha, so I don't know what Billy's about." Whatever.
Maybe, but also, not everything has to be for everyone.
True.
So not every
Yeah.
like, it's understanding and adjusting expectations and budgets. Like, not everything has to be for everyone. If you're not the type who is interested in gay witches, then the next one, you don't have to watch that either. It's fine. You can just tune in to see Robert Downey Jr. again if that's all you want. It doesn't. It's too big this time. It can't be everything to everyone.
When they put together Young Avengers, they've got 3 characters already who have been primarily in TV shows. They have to just introduce them as a new character. So I like what because I'm such a industry expert. I like what they're doing with setting up the TV as a separate sort of entity. The same way that they kind of did with the Spotlight, but they've only had one show that so far that has been in that under that banner. But they're saying this is TV, so it can be its own thing. It still ties in, but because the comic book universe is so vast, and you don't have to read every single comic to enjoy your favorite ones. Just have the TV ones be that sort of that universe. But if you have crossovers, you just have to introduce them as if they were new characters. So I mean, not
new characters, but the story still has to work if you don't know every nuance.
Yeah, I mean, they're introduced as if they're new characters for that audience.
Yeah,
because I think one of the things that the Marvels didn't do very well was they just sort of introduced Monica as, oh yeah, this is a bing, 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 bing. There, now you're caught up, and people are like, wait, what? No, I'm not invested in this character. That could have been a bit differently.
True.
The same with Kamala Khan.
I think she worked fine though.
Like, eventually, yeah. I just that's introduced, not the greatest. To that people, and one of the reasons people didn't want to see it is because they didn't see the TV shows, and
modern Netflix.
Yeah, so that's my sort of advice for the future.
Kevin, if you're listening, John has words of wisdom for you.
I have so many. I know, Kevin, you're listening to every episode of our podcast.
Of course,
that's so much good advice.
Job.
What else about the show did you like?
Let's throw some pros and some cons, is it? Because we tend to kind of like hyper focus. So like,
well, we've talked about the best episode,
episode, and it's
Billy being the author, artificer, architect. Ooh. That's the word I'm looking for. Architect of the road. That was sold so well too, because another thing they did. Sorry, a mini tangent, but another thing they did really well is because, especially with Aubrey Plaza being Death. And Billy being the architect of the road, and even Lillia, like you have the reveal, and then you get tiny little flashbacks, all the moments where it was like, oh, that's why she had that weird look, that's why they had that sort of weird reaction. At the time, it was just like, oh, they're just being weird witches. But you're looking back on it like, oh, that was deliberate. That was deliberate. The fact she's looking down at the door and she's like, oh, there's a fucking door there. That's different.
That was great. Yeah, when
they do the Ouija board and it spells out death, and Aubrey Plaza just laughs maniacally. Oh, at the time it's like, oh, she's just being a bit crazy. But no, it's because she's fucking laughing, and she knows that it's not real as well.
Of course.
You think back to when they summoned an extra green witch. I think, okay, more than a tangent then, because only Agatha knew that it wasn't real, and she said that to Billy. The road isn't real. You're lying. Yep. Am I? Yeah, perfect. So only she knows that it's his, and so every sort of sideways glance at him, or every comment that and Rio. So once she gets pulled in, like, they all know that it's not real. The Salem 7 are like, what's this weird place? Let's just go inside and attack. Let's get Agatha, whatever. Where was I going with this?
And you enjoyed that?
Yeah.
And that was good.
It was good. It was good.
That was good.
The end. And it was good.
I have not, it's not a con, it's more of a question, and I'm wondering if I missed something or...
Yeah.
My question is about the final episode.
Okay, let's go into it.
Sort of the final episode, but also Agatha in general. I'm so happy we got, we finished and then we got an episode about Agatha. I think that's very in keeping with Jack's writing, to see the backstory and see what what we all guessed, that her son died. My question is, I'm a little lost in her motivations. So, and that kind of leads into, is Agatha an anti-hero or is she a fucking evil psycho? Because all the way through, even WandaVision, all the way through, because, in the comics, she's not even an anti-hero. She's just a hero. She's a good person. So all along, first through WandaVision, and I didn't get it, and then through this, I'm like, right, they're going to reveal a sort of a reason behind why she's like this, reason behind why she's killing people and all that sort of stuff, to kind of like, oh, she's broken and she's doing the, not a excuse, but a justification, that sort of stuff. And we didn't really get it. So her son dies.
Yeah.
She buries him and she cries and she's very sad. And then she kills witches. I thought it's like, oh, is she doing this to get the Darkhold? Is she doing this to use the energy to bring him back? Or what is her justification? Why does she step over the corpse of her boy to go and kill some witches?
Let's not forget that she was doing that before her boy died. She was killing witches, but I think the motivation before then was, the implication was that she was killing witches to supplement her boy's life, I suppose, or like that was how. Was she just getting power, or was it somehow connected to him?
I don't know.
Was like kind of like feeding him, like the more she kills witches, the longer that he can live. But
that wasn't explicit. I feel like they would have made that really clear.
And in the end, when the boy just kind of succumbs to whatever illness he had, which I've got thoughts on as well, I don't think that the idea of her needing to kill witches in order to keep him alive really works. I think she's just an evil person. But on top of that, I don't think it's black and white. I think that people are complicated. People are sort of you can have an evil person that does good things. You can have good people do evil things as well. And
she's not done anything good. Anything, any single thing.
I think her primary sort of motivation is just power for herself. I wonder if by the end of this series, how she might be. I mean, how do you turn a page on 400 years of evilness? But she might be learning how to sort of work with Billy, but in a different way. What is her motivation now that she's kind of released from this physical world? Like, how does it change her? That's my thoughts. I don't think that
maybe, but he's great. He's quite quick to forgive her. And it's like, okay, let's go. We make a great team. It's like,
yeah.
She was.
I don't fully understand.
She killed Alice in front of you, and you're like.
She did seem to regret that a little bit, but I don't know if it was genuine or not.
But she was going to kill all of them at the start. That's what this ballad is. It was all a scam, just to kill them. So she is just a murderer. There's no. It's for the greater good. Like, I need to stop Wanda because she's too powerful and will destroy reality. Even that isn't really clear. She just wanted it for herself. She's just evil, and that's difficult for me to kind of like, well, why have I spent 2 seasons like saying, yay, Agatha, she's so great? It's like, oh no, you're. So that's where I'm a bit lost. I wanted, even if it's a stretch, to be like, she's killing all these people. The only thing I can think of, but that's afterwards. Like you said, she was killing people before Nikki.
Yeah.
She said that she's doing it to stay alive so she doesn't have to face him. That's the only thing. It's like she wants to keep herself alive so she doesn't die and have to face her son.
I don't understand.
But again, even that was a bit...
what does that mean?
That's what she said when she was a ghost, when he was going to banish her. It's like, I can't face him. But even that's a really tenuous... So that's the biggest hole for me, is in her character.
It's a hole because we don't know what happens in that afterlife. We've seen different afterlives in the MCU already. We've got Asgard. What's Valhalla? Afterlife.
We've seen Valhalla
at the end of Thor: Love and Thunder, and we've seen a version of Afterlife in Moon Knight, where we have this Egyptian sort of themed afterlife. Was there any that? But so we don't know what's happening. We don't know if it's tied to what people's beliefs are, kind of thing. And that is a bit of a hole, but it is kind of. I mean, it's okay. It's not. I mean, the thing is that the fact that we can pick apart this depth.
That's my biggest thing. Because I found it distracting. Whereas if it was, we knew it was a villain and we're just seeing like the Penguin. Like, you know he's a villain, but you're seeing the subtleties of like, oh, he's a villain and a terrible person. We get that. Oh, but it's interesting to see why he justifies it and why, all this stuff behind. But he's a villain. It's not redeeming him or anything like that. It's just interesting to see the kingpins, that kind of stuff. They're a villain, bad guy. But, it's interesting to see how they became that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't expecting that or didn't see it that way. As she's the villain, here's her journey. I always pictured her as the anti-hero.
Yeah, you don't get her justification till the very last episode, and throughout the whole series, people are like, "Oh, we can't trust her. Can't trust her." Oh, I want,
No, you really can't. You really can't.
And so it's hard to sort of, I mean, her justification of killing Alice, it was just a bit like, "Oh, I didn't mean to," but of course she did mean to. I think she kind of went back into her natural instincts of just sort of taking on the power, because that's what she's done her whole life. And now that she has no power, she's even more hungry for it.
Here's an interesting comic book observation that comic book readers might have thought, kind of a blurring of characters. She seems a lot more like the character of Selene from X-Men, from the Hellfire Club, than Agatha. Okay. So, do you know anything about her?
No.
So Selene is the Black Queen of the Hellfire Club to Emma's White Queen. So she was around in those 80s times, that sort of stuff.
And these are chess pieces.
Yes. But because because it's a club for rich people, everyone's white.
Of course. Right.
So she took Jean Grey's Black Queen garb afterwards. So she was all that kind of stuff. She tried to kill Rachel. Anyway, very 80s kind of character that Chris Claremont made up. Big, dramatic sorceress who's thousands of years old, and she's dramatic and all that kind of thing. Speaketh in tongues and all this kind of fun stuff. And she's part mutant, part witch and that sort of stuff. And she drains people. She's a vampire. She drains people's lives to stay alive and to fuel her kind of power. And she does it. It's like, because I'm better than everyone and you should all worship me and it's great and I remember all these people. Aren't they lovely? They gave their lives for me. Thanks, bye. And it's this very kind of I'm amazing and super powerful sorceress kind of thing. Clearly evil. No recovering from that because she just kills. But because she's glamorous, fabulous, in skimpy outfits and loves herself and doesn't question it, it's an interesting character and she's fun and especially the gays love her. Okay. It feels a lot more like there's lots of hints of Agatha in that I saw in the last one. I thought that was quite cool.
Okay, I like it. Interesting. I mean, the thing is, like, they're making an adaptation of Agatha and they've already gone apart from how the character is by making her evil,
She's inspired by Selene. I think that's a great combination to have. Agatha and Selene, go for it. I think
works for me.
I like it. But that does mean, there's still room for Selene.
Is she also a ghost in the comic books? I know she isn't always,
Agatha,
but like
yes, and then
Wanda goes down the witch's path, or whatever it is.
Exactly, and she guides her as a ghost down the witch's road. And I think recently they brought her back as a human, but young, so that she looks like Catherine Hahn.
I saw that as well.
Which is, I was like,
I'm fine with
that. I'm fine.
I will also say that Agatha Harkness does appear as a character, as a non-playable character in the game Midnight Suns.
Yes,
where
of course.
She is just a ghost. She's a ghost the whole time. Like, before you start, like, you play as the character that's brought back to life after 400 years, whatever, to take down the villain. And you hear of a story of basically, is it Wanda, who tries to do some spell and it goes awry and actually kills Agatha. So Agatha Harkness, who you remember from the 400 years ago, she appears as a ghost and she just advises you the whole time. So I was like, but she's old as well. And that's the only other time that I can think of Agatha being a ghost was in this video game. So it was all right, but as long as it's a comic book thing, okay, I get it. That's fine.
Yes. Yeah.
Question: have we seen ghosts in the MCU before? was a little bit jarring, but I didn't mind it so much. Is this kind of a curveball at the beginning of the very last episode? Like, oh, you were a ghost. okay, we're doing this now.
Oh yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Because
people die and they die. They don't become ghosts. I mean, obviously,
no, they become Doctor Doom.
Yeah, there you go.
But
alternate timeline.
I'd rather the ghost. We didn't see it in Doctor Strange, or Moon Knight or anything like that. I don't think. No, but it's quite witchy. Quite witchy.
True.
Halloweeny.
Weenie. You said weenie.
I did.
It is a gay podcast after all.
Dicks. I'm very glad at how a pro to this. So gay. The show was so
how have we gone like this far?
Gay.
Talking about it. All these
35 minutes in. Yes, a massive pro of it. Not just because Wiccan was just unabashedly gay the whole way through, which is great. But how gay?
There's a Trans Lives Matter flag on his wall. There's a pride sticker in his bedroom as well. And
he's obsessed with Wizard of Oz. So gay.
Totally gay.
But yes,
the boyfriend makes an appearance. My favorite part was in Lillia's episode where he's like, "Fine, you can do the tarot reading on me. I'll be the querent," and Agatha does like a little.
Oh, I didn't spot that.
Did you not? It's so cute. It's just kind of like it's really, really subtle. And she's like,
because she's an ally. Lily is an ally.
No, Agatha does. Agatha chuckles when Lily says,
that makes more
sense.
Oh, yeah, they're all queer. She's queer as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you want a straight answer, ask a straight woman. Good. Who do you think Nicholas's dad is?
What?
Who do you think Nicholas's dad was then? Because she was clearly dating Death when she got knocked up.
I don't think it matters.
No, it doesn't matter at all.
Kind of
because men are not important and not the center of the story. Thank you.
Exactly.
Moving on.
It doesn't matter. Just like we don't know who Jessica Drew's baby daddy is. Like, it doesn't matter.
That's true.
She knows, you know?
Yeah.
Which I learned from you, actually. Mm-hmm. One thing, here's my con. It's not a big con, because obviously it doesn't detract from such an amazing show, really. But I wish they had done more with Nicholas, the character of Nicholas Scratch. Like, he's just a boy.
Yeah.
He's ill. He was supposed to die during childbirth, and then Lady Death is like, I can give you time, but then he just becomes like, I know they have to spend the time to show the relationship between Agatha and her only son, but then it just sort of, he doesn't really do it. They sing a bit. Know. I thought I kind of, and I don't know if this is sort of does me any favors, but I wish they had done something more with the way he died, because it kind of was a bit of like the one complaint people have about the finale is that it was a bit anticlimactic, and I think like his dying is a bit anticlimactic, but also that might have been the point.
Yes, I think so.
In the episode before, episode 8, when they're in the trial, and Billy finally kind of he whatever happens to Tommy, we can talk about that as well. Whatever happens to Tommy, he's like, am I killing this boy so that Tommy can live? And her response, which I think was written very well, she's like, no, boys just sometimes die. And you don't realize until the final episode that she is talking about, well, you kind of have an idea that she's talking about her son, but because we don't know, we're led to believe that it was some sort of sacrifice, that she sort of gave him up in a way, and it just wasn't that.
Yeah, I quite like that. Again, it's centering Agatha rather than the kid. In the comics, he grows up to be a witch and then becomes evil, and then he's the father of the Salem 7. Yeah, so they're his grandchildren, all that sort of stuff. A, that's too complicated, too long for this TV show. B, he wasn't interesting in the comics, so no desire to do that. And so he takes the focus off of Agatha's journey. And if it was her fault, like if she let him drown, or I don't know, if any other, or she accidentally drained him, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It changes it as opposed to...
She had a deal where it gave him up to get the Darkhold.
Exactly, yeah.
Those were all sort of...
That makes it a very different story, and this one was just that Death took her child, because that just happens. And I liked how... I really liked Aubrey Plaza's portrayal of her, because at the start she's just, I'm crazy, crazy, crazy bitch. But it seems that after she was revealed to be Death, she really changed her performance and really toned it down. Like, all those flashback scenes, she's not crazy, she's not licking blood hands, she's not saying, I'm gonna kill you all. She's very peaceful, you know, even when she takes Nicholas, she's just like,
I think that was very specific to the time period.
Because Death isn't evil, it's just a natural thing. And I really liked how, because Aubrey's such what's the word I'm looking for? Distinctive actor?
Colorful.
To then take that kind of calm approach when she's revealed as Death. And she looked fucking cool. All of her outfits were fucking brilliant. All her outfits were fucking brilliant. She was super hot in that first fight scene in the first episode, when she's just in the hood and that sort of stuff. She looked badass when she had her little green crown and everything like that.
Yep. I love the sort of the CGI over the
face. I love it. Where she was effective. The face of Death. It looked great. It looked great as witchy kind of character-y without being over the top and scary. But yay.
Yeah, good.
More of her. That'd be fun.
Here's a pro. I really loved when Billy comes back as Wiccan. I love the outfit, the costume. Big plus to the costume design on the show. Like, obviously you have every genre of every trial they have, which of course is all Billy, which makes sense because you see all the bits in his room.
Yeah.
But then also, like, and people going about his crown, like, yeah, it looks great, fine. But the fucking costume with like the red and the way that it kind of cuts on the side, that's very comic book accurate, as well as looking just fucking cool.
Oh, see, I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I thought when he comes back and saves Agatha and then she dies, I was like, looks a bit cheap.
No? Yeah? I mean, I don't think his look is just kind of, I don't want to say ragtag, but it kind of just sort of, look, is just thrown together. Like, he's got the sort of the black lines and the red cape that kind of just sort of...
Yeah, in the comics he has like a long raggedy cape and a hood for a long time that just looks quite... witchy rather than that sort of stuff. I love the crown. I'm loving all the crowns. There's going to be so many 3D printed crowns on gays' heads. Oh, it was yesterday on Halloween. Like,
I was going to say.
And Comic Con was the weekend before. There would have been so many people with 3D printed crowns.
If only they knew.
Which one would you have? Would you have a Wanda crown, a Billy crown, or a Rio crown?
For what? For funsies?
Yeah.
Costume? Or like, what are my powers?
For cosplay. You don't get powers. We're just going to like the
cosplay.
Side. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I might go for the blue one, actually. I don't think I have the physical type to portray, but it would be fun to do. Just have like the blue cape and.
I'd want the green one. Blue crown. Bring out my eyes.
I think there you go. I'll have the blue one to bring out my eyes as well. There you go.
I think that'd be fun.
3D printing.
You can
download them at patreon.com/gaygeeks. No, just kidding.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, we could give it.
How expensive is a 3D printer? Can I get one? Is that too much?
Very. I think it's very expensive. But not infinity. You can get one if you really want to. Yeah, if we get up to 1,000 subscribers, we will get a 3D printer. And then
do we not have 1,000 subscribers?
Not quite.
Not quite. Just a few off. But if you'd like to help the channel grow, subscribe to our channel, follow our channel, and remember to rate this episode 5 stars if you'd like to help us grow. It helps us out a lot.
It really does.
Easiest way to help this channel grow. I heard someone else say it like that, and I was like, "Oh, that's a really nice way of saying it."
It's the easiest way to help the channel grow?
It's the easiest way to help this channel grow.
It's true. It's true.
To rate this.
Rate the episode. Tell your friends. Subscribe if you haven't already. Okay. What else? So that's it.
Future.
I was gonna say, what's next? What is next in the MCU? But also,
what do you think's gonna happen with Jen? Do you think she's gonna be in something and come back?
She fucking better be.
She was.
I mean, the fact that
I know her.
She flies away. I was like, she flies now. Okay, great.
I know
her. Such a good arc
from
for
SNL,
her as well.
But I've never really seen Sashir before. I was like, there's a few SNL skits, but I don't really watch SNL. She was so funny, especially her and Lillia scenes together. The way that the comedic timing of it, and when she could be so serious, she could shift into the serious and just be lighter. Yeah. Damn, full naming him. It's like it's just so charming and lovely. Again, it's and one real. Of these characters. one of these characters that they put in as like we'll just have that, and then when you watch them, like Darcy and everything like that, it's like they're so charming and lovable. You were like, shit, I would watch a lot of her. Well, like Agatha, it's like I would watch a lot of her. So I hope they find a way to do it. I don't know if they will though, because.
And do you know why they're so good at it though? Definitely for Zashir Zamata and for Catherine Hahn. I don't know so much about who plays Darcy. I forget her name. Anyway,
Kat Dennings.
I don't know, but they're comedic actors, especially Catherine and Zashir, because
Kat's a comedic actor for sure.
Is she a comedic actor? Yeah, it's like you have to sort of you have to bring that sort of the realness to it. Like I always used to say back in my acting days, it was like dramatic acting is hard. Comedic acting is so fucking hard.
So fucking difficult. To be over the top and serious and cry. That's...
I said my own quote wrong. Can I do it again?
Of course.
So it's like I used to say back in my acting days, that when you're dramatic acting, you have to be so serious. When you're comedic acting, you have to be so fucking serious. That's what I meant. Keep them both in. I don't care. Yeah. Because it has to be serious. Because if you're laughing at yourself, then it's not effective.
If you don't take the comedy seriously, then
so
it's like
serious,
it's cringe. Like, what are you doing? You don't respect it anymore. I'm just so impressed with these actors, and the writing has been great. I've really loved it, and I want
Look at
more.
That, we've come full circle.
I want
acting,
more.
writing, show running, music. We didn't even mention the music. I meant to say costumes, but music as well.
Costumes, music.
The viral sensation that is the Ballad of the Witch's Road.
I want the version with all of them and Patti singing, but I don't know if that's the one that's streaming. I think it's the band version. So Alice's mum's version is streaming. Mm-hmm. Well, that one. It's like, no, I want the one in the basement where you can hear Patti going for it. I want that one.
I'm sure you could find it. Someone's got it somewhere. I think I saw it was like a Threads or a Instagram of Joe Locke posting being in the recording studio and just with Patti LuPone singing in the background. And
yes, I saw. I was like, she does.
This is one take. She did this. She does not need any retake. She's just like down, belting it out.
Amazing.
Perfect. So future, Back to the Future. What should we talk about? Vision Quest. I think there's much to say. It's next. Is it going to be the same?
I didn't realize. Yeah, well, that's I knew it was planned. I knew they planned to do Vision Quest. I didn't realize if they've explicitly said they're going to do it. It's as a third part to this, or it's
I feel like that was a recent development.
Coincidentally, okay.
Yeah,
because
people
it's
are like,
more of
this show's.
It's obviously a spin-off of WandaVision, the way that this is, rather than
Yeah.
it being a continuation of this. But as you said, I imagine because he's Vision's son as well.
Yeah,
I think interact.
I mean, it's just Vision's son. Like, yeah. It's comic book magic, whatever. It's fine. Like, it's not going to be a sequel to Agatha. It's going to be a sequel to WandaVision.
Yeah.
But it's still going to follow on chronologically. I think maybe not. But do we know anything about it in terms of like? Are they bringing Jack Schaefer back? Who's going to do it? Do they not know? I feel like they
think it's Jack. If I'm honest,
unless they haven't decided yet, because I fully believe that they were like, oh, this Agatha show, it's the only TV show we're doing this year, aside from Echo back in January, and they were like, let's just see how it goes, and it's going really well. Like, oh, maybe we should do more of this. Like, quick call up Kevin, be like, hey, we should do Vision. How's that Ironheart going? Yeah, let's do Vision as well. This is going really well. And I think that I fully believe that they kind of made that decision as the show was being rated highly.
Wait, it was always planned to do Vision Quest.
That's it.
Yeah, it was always there.
But they always but they've
But I don't know when they were planning to do it, like what their timeline was, or if the story will change because of the success of this or anything like that. Apparently Ultron's in it, and that'd be fun.
In it?
James Spader. Which makes sense if he's trying to figure himself out.
It's definitely something for us to look forward to now, even though it's not going to happen until 2026.
2026, which that Terry Matalas would serve as showrunner. It was also reported that an earlier version of the series was in development with Jack Schaefer, but that her attention then got turned to Agatha.
Oh, okay.
So maybe the plan was to do WandaVision, Vision Quest originally as Jack and everybody planned it, but then everyone loved Agatha, so then she's like, I'm going to go write about lesbian witches. And I would too.
Yeah, why not? I think give Jack a break. We'll be like, hey, go spend your spoils. You've done very well. Reap the benefits. Go on beach holiday for a couple of months. We'll call you.
And then come back and write
we'll call you
the
later.
Scarlet Witch movie.
Yes!
Write
and
great. Direct the Scarlet Witch movie. I think
us fans can hope.
She's the only one I would trust
idea.
to do it, because to bring her, I think that'd be
At least there's a female writer, I think, and or director, somebody with experience. What's next in the MCU, Nicholas?
I have no idea. I've lost track. I don't keep track anymore.
I don't know either. I've seen a few trailers for multiple TV shows, including Ironheart, Vision Quest.
I really didn't think that it was.
Is it Brave New World? Is that next? Is that in like February or something?
I have no idea what's coming next.
I think the next big thing is Captain America: Brave New World, which, again, I'm going to try to not see any trailers or any sort of spoiler kind of thing. It's easier for a film because obviously we don't have the weekly sort of here's a breakdown kind of thing. Because I'm going to watch it regardless anyway. We'll see.
Thunderbolts? No, that's Brave New World is next. Apparently, I think it's
what month
February.
is that?
February.
It is February. I was right.
And then Thunderbolts in May. So they're only going to do 2 films a year, right? We're not doing any more than that.
I mean, gone are the days. I think gone are the days of Disney Expo, Marvel Expo, where they're sort of saying, "Here's our plan for the next 4 years," and then people are like, "Woo, I can't wait."
They've had to change a lot of that. I know we've got season 3 of What If. I think that's this year, according to this timeline. An animated Spider-Man series next year. Yeah. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And Daredevil.
Born Again.
As well.
I'm glad that's going ahead.
And then Ironheart in June.
The trailers has shown Kingpin back in that as well.
Yeah, of course.
Which makes sense.
That's fine.
Good. All right.
I'm not super excited for any of them. Maybe Thunderbolts most of all.
We'll see. But then again, we're running into the same sort of territory of we're going to make a film about these characters that were introduced in TV shows. Not all of them, but enough of them that people will say, "Oh, I don't know this character. I don't know. Should I watch it?" Like, let's just say now, fucking just watch it.
Yelena was a film. Ghost was a film.
Bucky, obviously in multiple films.
Who?
Bucky.
Oh God, I forgot he was in it.
Yeah. John Walker. TV show. And of course Val. Oh no, she has made appearances.
Yes, I think so.
In films, but she's in a lot of. She's been peppered throughout many TV shows.
Yeah. Oh. Well, yeah, that's the one I'm most excited to see. But
Thunderbolts.
I think more than anything,
it looks different.
I hope that the success and the critical acclaim, especially if it does get nominations, but the audience reactions to Agatha, kind of reinforces that there are a lot of different ways to do comic book shows and Marvel shows and films. Not everything. We can still have our big gun punch fight. Of course, love those.
Yeah.
There's lots of different ways of doing it. You can have all sorts of cool, spooky, fun shit. It doesn't have to be for everyone. I just really hope that kind of hammers it home. It's like, this is a singing show about gay witches, and it did really well. Like,
yeah, and the thing is, the reason it did really well had like, it wasn't because the gay witches was the focus. Like, that was just a fun way to tell the story. It did well because of the acting, the writing, the production, et cetera, et cetera. Totally agree. Yeah.
Plus gay. I think it's better.
And it was fun. It was just icing on the cake that it was gay. A little bit of gay icing.
And all women produced, written, and acted, apart from Billy.
Was it all women? I know that there was at least one team of writers, a male and a female that did some writing. At least the Lillia episode. But I mean, it was, yeah. If that was what it was, I believe it, and I think it was a good thing.
Different perspectives, different voices, different stories. It doesn't always have to be the same thing.
And guess what? We want to see that.
Yes,
we want
the point. That's the whole point. And you need to soften us up with this kind of stuff before X-Men finally fucking shows up, because you cannot treat the X-Men the same as you treated the Avengers. It has to be more emotional, more nuanced, more gay. Without being gay, but being gay. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean.
It has to be
Do
gay.
you know what I mean?
Dear listener, it has to be gay without being gay.
I mean, it can be gay, but it doesn't have to be gay. But it has to be gay.
It has to be gay, but the focus doesn't have to be that.
Yeah,
it's not.
It has to have that.
It has to not be that it's gay.
It has to have that inherent queerness to
Yes.
it, because they are odd, that sort of stuff. The outsider, that the queer writers, directors, and showrunners would have an inside view to, that sort of stuff, and the people of color. Anyway.
Yep.
We've spoken about this before.
We have,
But,
and I will never tire of it. So, if you, dear listener, have anything to add, please do get in touch. We love hearing from you. We read everything. Well, unless it's negative, then only I read it, because I laugh at it.
I'm too emotional. I can't read negative stuff. Please.
We don't actually get... We don't actually... We joke about that, but we don't actually get hardly any
No,
negative
not in like 2 years. It's been fine.
But if you do want to have a viewpoint, let us know. What was your favorite episode? What was your favorite character? Your favorite storyline? Email us. Our email address is incompletegeekspodcast@gmail.com. You can also get in touch on the social media. We're on TikTok primarily and Instagram primarily, and so give us a shout out there. Our handles there are @incompletegeeks. Right?
Yes, it's been a while since we've said it, but that's still what we do here.
And like we said before, while you're here, like the show, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, give us a 5-star rating, because that does help the show out. We like talking about it, but we do get things wrong once in a while. That's because we're not complete geeks.
But we're working on it.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye. The producers can fade in the music.